the ethics of magic. Is it okay to curse someone?
And are there karmic implications you need to think about when doing spellcraft? Hello, I'm Max Raven.
And I'm Cassandra Raven. Together we have over 30 years experience in the occult, witchcraft and magic.
We share insight, knowledge, advice and lifestyle tips to make your magic go further and add potency to your work. Today we're going to talk about the ethics of magic and the things you should think about if you're ever inclined towards cursing someone or sending negative energy in someone's direction. There are many things you need to think about with this one here, and is it worth the karmic debt that you would accrue from sending harm to another person? Now, Cassie, would you ever consider cursing or sending harm or potentially getting retribution for a perceived slight through magic?
Actually, this is not something that I've ever done. Yet. I haven't sent anybody any negative energy. Yet. However, I might consider doing it at some point in the future. I haven't ruled it out. But usually, for me, it's about looking at the bigger picture, the fact that everybody does things for their own reasons. Mm-hmm. And just because somebody's done something that seems to be against me, you know, A, does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? And B, do I want to waste my energy sending out negative energy? And C, is it worth the karmic retribution that then I would have to, you know, because we're judging karma based on what we think somebody else has done to us, but yes. They have their point of view. Like they have their, it might be twisted, it might be messed up, it might not be in line with what our opinions are.
Yeah.
But they've done something for a reason, and they've done it for their reasons, which we probably don't understand, which is why we're so mad at them or upset by what they've done. So, you know, you're kind of putting yourself in a position where you're judging someone else and their actions. And, you know, it's really difficult because you have to view the bigger picture and take a step back and say, is it worth spending my energy trying to send negative energy to someone else? It takes time. It takes, you know, you're going to have to get your things together, maybe even, you know, spend time collecting things or spend money on buying things or whatever it is. All of these are resources that you're putting out to sending harm to somebody else. Is it really worth it?
That's very true.
Can you just get over what they've done? Can you just accept that, you know, they did it for their reasons? People are mean, people are evil, people do things that they do. You know, you've got to really dig deep within yourself and ask yourself those really big questions before you actually take action. And I think if you don't think about it, if you just go headlong into sending negative energy to someone, you could come to regret it later. So it's not something that I've done yet. But, you know, I don't know. I don't rule it out.
I would say it would be a case of knowing where your bottom lines are. There are, of course, many ways that you can use magic defensively. So while I personally wouldn't view these systems as cursing, they can be called counterblasting, or it can be classed as come under sort of the wider umbrella of protection magic.
Defense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are a variety of different charms, which are the magical equivalent of putting up barbed wire around you. So
and we do a lot of that.
Yeah.
We make sure that we are really well protected and that our family and pets and environment and home and everything is really well protected. And that's just like magical insurance.
Very much so. It's you can certainly send back the negative energy that someone sent to you, reflecting it back to them, but not putting your own energy and effort into it. There are a variety of different ways of doing it, and there are some great traditional ones. So there's an old tradition where you would have a shoe kept up in the loft space or the rafters, and this would be an old shoe that wasn't connected to anyone in the household. The idea of this is that the shoe or a footstep represents the person's path through life, and a curse or malefica or negative spirit would interact with this shoe that, or this perceived path through life that has no connection to a person within this household, therefore causing it to become inert. There are, of course, other ones with, say, a pierced heart, usually being a pig. It can also be done with, either meat or any sort of flesh. It can be done with a piece of bacon, either with nails or thorns, and very much the same idea. It would be placed up inside your chimney, and as the negative energy would come through one of the entrance ways, that is usually, say, like a window, doorway, or down through the chimney, it would come across this flesh or this living matter, or once living matter, and that would act as a proxy to the people within the home. The nails or thorns within it would spike and prick the sender. There's the whole idea that there's this sympathetic link between the caster and the aim or the goal. So through that link, the person that has potentially been cursed or had a charm or spell put upon them can send it back. So that's another thing that's worthwhile considering when you are doing any magic work with people, is, do I want that magical link between myself and
the other person? So even if you're specifically targeting a person, whether it's defensively or offensively, then you need to consider whether you are creating a link to that person, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, or to that situation,
or to
that place.
situation. Yeah, and that can hang around for years, decades, centuries. You need to consider the larger ramifications of what you're doing and the energy that you're creating. So, what about your opinions personally on cursing and hexing?
Cursing and hexing, it certainly has its place, and it's so much a part of magic and witchcraft. I think it's one of the main. Well, it is the main reason that what magical practitioners may do or may not do is the reason it's feared. Although it's certainly been blown out of proportion by various records on people that are wanting to highlight the negative traits of a majoritarily peaceful magical practice. But personally, the only thing you could probably come close to a hex or curse that I have done is one that is more aimed to say, whatever karma is due to you, I hope you get that. Now that's sort of taking it out of your hands. You're going, I don't want this, I don't want to say I want this, this and this to happen to you.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some hilarious old curses that you can look up, but so if the person has done no wrong, no harm will come to them. Or if they've done some wonderful deeds,
it's putting the judgment, again, it's taking the judgment from you and putting it out to the gods or whoever, putting it out to the universe and saying, exactly. I'll leave you to judge this person.
But, hurry up.
But hurry up.
But there are some fantastically hilarious curses. There's one in the British Museum which was actually found locally. It's a classic one of a piece of lead that's stolen from a church and then had the scrawled inscription on there with a nail pushed through it, and it's basically saying that the person can never again go to the toilet. Oh. And there's another one saying that I hope you get like diarrhea and things like that. There are ones that you look at now and it's quite humorous, but then when you think about it, in those days there's things like dysentery and it's actually quite serious and quite dark. But nowadays you go, it's toilet humour.
Yeah.
But
there are some other funny ones as well. Like, silly things that there are people who follow the path of black witchcraft, which to them they either say that it's completely worth all of the karma coming back to them if they can just deal out that retribution. And there are people that will happily do that, and that's their choice. It's absolutely fine. Yeah. There's also the rule of 3.
Yes.
So let's explain that a little bit.
Okay. The rule of 3 is very, very simple. Whatever you put out into the universe, be that to another person or to a situation or within your workings or your day-to-day interactions with other people, will come back to you threefold. So this is why it's really important to be focused on the more positive aspects, or your aims, your goals. Gratitude again is a fantastic tool for this, because the more of that you're putting out, you're basically having that multiplier which will come back to you. So if you're interacting with people in a basically being grumpy or angry, that's going to come back to you.
So the thing that's really the thing that a lot of people cite when discussing cursing is the rule of 3, and that I don't want things to come back threefold, or sometimes tenfold is another one that I've seen people saying. I think the threefold rule is that Wiccan? I think it comes from the Wiccan belief, but I think it was around. I think it's been around for a long time. I mean, the number 3 is such a magical number. It's used in so many. Obviously it's the magic number, but it's been used in a lot of a lot of folklore.
Yes.
And so it just rolls off the tongue. Oh, that's going to come back to you 3 times as bad if you do something. It's kind of something.
It's so ingrained. It's one of those things that it will probably take quite a while to research the earliest reference to it. But there are, I'm sure, several magical systems have claimed it as their own, as it's such a prevalent item within it. But there are, again, everyone has their bottom line, and there would be potentially a situation where I would take action, but that would be if someone caused severe harm to a loved one's family, and it would be a case of, okay, I have to act, my hand's been forced. But that would be a very, very extreme situation.
Sometimes it's better to take legal action.
Yeah.
So again, you need to weigh things up. It might be better to get that person back by reporting them, or presenting some evidence for the situation of what's happened, or what whatever the situation is. Sometimes it is going to be better just to go, hold on a minute, magic is great, but I'm going to use my brain right now, and I'm going to kill you with that instead. I'm going to make sure that I take the right steps legally, for example, to rectify the situation and to bring
that case,
justice.
You could use your magical talents or your magical workings to support that system, and using it that way to have a different version.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
Yes.
What do you guys think? Comment below and let us know what your opinion is on cursing. Would you consider cursing somebody? Have you cursed somebody? Did it work? And let us know. We love to have a conversation with you guys. All of our videos are about interaction, being able to talk to you folks in our community. That's what we love the most. Anything else?
I think that's everything. Thank you very much, guys.